Hello guys, welcome. So today we are going to be talking about poses and kind of focused in animation, but it's the same thing in painting, same thing in comics. It's kind of generic in art, but when it comes to animation, when we talk about posing, well, as I said, it's the same thing, but pose. You know what pose is. Giving action captured in frames, but we are talking about like attitude, emotional. So your poses, for example, this is a very important word when it comes to pose. Your gesture, for example, um, you have a character that is sad. There's a way you draw that character. Uh, this is just a gesture drawing. And what we are talking about is the attitude of the pose. It's really rough. This is rough animator. It's an animation application. So for example, we have this character, and I say the character is sad, and this is the way normally I animate. I like to draw the poses rough. It's the emotion is there. So the character is sad, and the way he's walking, you already know he's sad, so he's in motion. So the character is in an angle. Let me reduce this opacity so then I can show you. Let's say this is eyes, this is nose, and he's sad. This is ears. We can just give him a cool hair. His hands, so his hands are down. Maybe he just heard something, or someone did something to him that just made him really sad. These twisted, so maybe you cannot see it well, but all these poses are important in animation. Your keyframes, and when you are animating, you need to take note of these things because they strengthen the emotion of your animation. Normally this pose won't be something I'll use if I'm staging. Let me delete the poses. Let's say we are seeing the character in a profile view, so you understand. We have arch back. Say his back is arched, so his hands are here. Now he doesn't have this hunchback normally. It's just because he's sad, he's down, so he's walking. So the last pose I did, I showed the character walking. I just want to show you the same pose from the side, and this is the same way if I'm creating art. If I'm animating, this is the same way I go about it. The head is a little bit big. So he's sad. And he's walking. Yeah, it looks like a monster though. But this is the pose I'm talking about. The character is sad. And what I'm mainly trying to say is the emotion. Most of the people, when they talk about emotional poses, they tend to look at it only from facial expression, the expression in the face, and maybe you have a character, that is surprised, is surprised about what is happening, what is going on. But in animation, this too transfers to the body of the character, the form. Maybe the character is surprised, and how, if you are surprised, how will you react, your body react if somebody tells me something like that. If you are standing and somebody, maybe you are surprised with what you are told, or maybe you see something that is shocking, the body, not just the head, the body too, the character is like shock. Is like what is happening, is trying to see, and trying to confirm, is this thing really? So the character is surprised, is trying to see, and check if what he's seeing is really correct. So the expression, the pose, the emotion, the attitude does not just show in the face, transform to the form also. So the same thing now we see. We now come and show that expression where the eyes is high, he's surprised. So the expression in the face now is kind of justified even with so now we see the same character. So this is the pose we are talking about. So he's surprised, but not just in a facial expression, his body too is surprised. What is that? What? So he's shocked, but most people tend to only focus on facial expression, and unfortunately that kills the whole attitude of the painting. So make sure, one thing I heard Glenn King talk about when it was in I think in an interview, he said animation is like different chain, metals locked together, and you have to watch every point and every pin. If you miss something, if you start focusing only on the head and you start forgetting the attitude, the body attitude, unfortunately you start missing the point. The head don't just go surprised, happy, sad. The body, goes with it. They work together. So that is something that is important for animators, for us also, even for painters. We're drawing to feel alive. Make sure you are carrying the whole form, except maybe when you have close-up shot, but the same thing still applies. The same thing still applies. From the video you are seeing, you can see my sides, going up, my shoulders reacting differently to the things I'm saying, to words I'm saying. For example, if we go to another layer let me give you another example. If it's, let's say it's close up and same surprise. Okay, let's go this way. The shoulders react. So let's say the shoulders react to the emotion. These his eyes are open. His ears, the ears also react. So you see that fear shows not just in the face, the body also. If he's wearing a hood or whatever it's called, a sweater cap, and then if we reduce the opacity. Now normally these are animate. I've talked about this in other videos. I go rough in the first pass. I want all the emotion in the animation to be alive and it should be there. So the neck, is folds. If fold, it folds because it's contrast. So hand, you can do that. So this is what we are talking about when we say emotion. Emotion should be there. So the pose carries weight. So I hope this was helpful. So when you animate, I could have showed you some example. Let me look for my old animation. I have some old animation to show you here. So this, I think you saw this. The video is available. And sorry, I'm having issues with the other camera, my phone actually. So if you look here, this pose here, it's planned. I think one of these pose here is actually the key drawing, and it's in the keyframe, the thumbnails I did for the animation. I actually planned that shot there. It was not like a mistake. So that is what I'm talking about. You can look at this pose here. This pose here, all these poses are planned, and that this pose is him turning away slowly. This part of this part here, yeah, this part. So that is what you see here. That is what you see here, him turning back. So everything is planned. If you're animating, you need to watch out for those parts and make sure you plan everything. When the character runs out of the frame, this part here, this part you see is planned. No, he runs out, he just runs out quickly. I think I've showed you guys this animation and it's available on YouTube, so you can check it out. So the same thing we are saying, when you animate, make sure that the pose you create, the things you create, make sure you go all in. You even I even advise you to exaggerate. If it's just something not too much, it's cartoon. Cartoon is exaggeration, caricature. So make it heighten the emotion. It's better you go all out than limit yourself. Better you go all out. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned something. And if you have any question, you can leave it in the comment section. I will get back to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Sorry for the disturbances and the little hooks, because I know there was little issues with the camera. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.